I wrote down some notes. The VIP
All right.
random people get.
I got tired and I accidentally hit the stream button.
Why?
I accidentally hit the stream button.
So we're streaming now?
Yes.
We'll
have to talk about what the VIPs get next time at BFGCon. Oh yes, we're going there, and VIPs will be getting something. But we are getting started because I accidentally hit the stream button. I'm so sorry, dear.
I was in the middle of discussing our conversation.
I am so sorry.
At least we were able to get the conversation in.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
You
really
are
am.
not sorry.
I really am.
I think I agree with you. I don't think he is either.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is he really?
I really am
He's
sorry.
really sorry.
I really am sorry, okay? So, where were we? Oh, yes. You're...
I'm Tim.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Jane.
I'm TJ. We are the table cast.
I was trying to figure out what he was...
Totally organized.
He said, where were we? And then he points to me like, what's he talking about? We were in the middle of talking about the con.
The convention we're going to, which we hope to see you there. Of course, if you are 12 years or younger, you are welcome to go there. But if you are 12 years or younger, here, right now, watching this live stream, get the fuck out. Now, let's continue on. Hello, everybody. You're probably wondering why I'm over here. Well, for the next 3 sessions, I am taking over. And we are beginning after this message.
It's just your phone saying, hey, these people are on live stream.
We're now live streaming early because, oopsies.
Is there anybody on live stream with us?
We'll see. I think 2 people, maybe. But where we left off last time was we defeated the Ringmaster. And
defeated?
In rather unconventional
question
fashion.
Mark?
Rather unconventional
He defeated
fashion.
himself?
More like he blood-barreled himself. But you guys have been given the ticket to go see Varana. And no message back from Bugs has come. You basically told... What's his name outside of Sorrow? Can't remember his name.
What's his name?
Him and Nestel.
Oh. Zoltan Ironspine.
Zoltan Ironspine.
A.K.A. Clamp.
You left a message with him. You left a message with him basically saying, hey, listen, when Bugs gets back, tell him that we went to the Great White Mountain which is the capital city and the main entrance to Varana's realm, the 4th realm.
Oh, Rabbit Fangirl is on. Hi!
Hi, Rabbit Fangirl.
Hi.
Who's that?
My bestie.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. Continuing on. You left a message saying, hey, we're going here because we need to be there shortly to go see Varana. I mean, like, it's the goddess of the 4th realm. I mean, like, it's a big honor for you to go see her.
See, wait, what?
See her.
See him? What?
And, of course, if you guys survive, you'll be able to continue. But, continuing on, where was I? Oh, yes. You guys have started going north. Now, the Great White Mountain is actually on the farthest most coast of the east side of the 5th realm. This mountain was claimed by Gornux, Lord Gornux, the guy who runs the Kingdom of Gornux. And it's where he lives. It's where there's this great, awesome library. It's honestly the seat of knowledge and power for the Kingdom of Gornux. It's also where the portal for Varana is. And that's where you guys are heading. Now, between here and there is a river and a marshland. Now, the quickest way is to go through the marshlands, the Dragon Fang marshlands. Which is not really a big thing. I mean, it's just marshlands, there's trails, there's a few towns between here and there. And where we begin is with you guys in a fog. Now, this fog has been thick, and you're pretty sure you've been going around in circles. And every 5 minutes that you walk, you come to the same
Right.
trees and pile of.
And Tig says this pile of rocks looks familiar. I know I said this
There he is.
Where
I know
is
I said this once before, but now this time I'm certain of it.
Raz and Shepard are not with you. Raz is currently, let's just put it this way. She had lots of character development last time, but she decided to take the road instead. You guys decided to go through the marshlands. Her and Shepard decided to go on the roads of the river, and Shepard's going to talk to her about being a proper black cat, learning about, and basically like becoming a bit more of a leader. So she's going on like a semi-story, and we'll do cutscenes before the two.
Okay.
But you guys decided to go through the marshlands because A, it's a lot quicker, and B, those two are not really interested in going through the marshlands. I mean, Raz just looked down and she said, the scarecrow just get dirty. And of course it is.
And the scarecrow, of course, said why.
Because the marshlands are terrible. So you guys are currently going through the marshlands, and this is quite literally a semi-sidetrack from the main story, but for good reasons. Welcome to Visions. You are now lost in the fog. It's the same pile of rocks.
Tig sits down on the pile of rocks.
I got this.
And he says, all right, I know this. I said this before, but I think this is the same pile of rocks. I didn't sit on it before, so my tush doesn't know. But if we pass it again, I'll sit on it again, and my tush will know as well as my eyeballs.
I'm pretty sure that is the same rock.
And he says, that means we're going in a circle.
Yes.
I mean, we could always just mark the rock or the trees so that we've been here before.
All right, Tiggs, why don't you smack it a few times with your hammer?
Just smack it. Just smack it. Smack it good. Smack it. Just
Tiggs
smack it good.
swings his axe, which brings a spark out as he hits the chunk of rocks and says, "Do we notice that?"
You know, I just realized we could have hit the tree instead.
Yeah.
That will work too.
I mean,
Or-
I also said to mark the
would
trees.
Tig says, "Now there's an idea," and he pees on the rocks. And he says, "Now it's marked. Tiggs was here."
A little
You
sign
okay?
sprouts up.
Anywho, do you remember where we went?
Tig says, "You mean besides this pile of rocks?"
Mm-hmm.
He says, "No, I don't."
Guess let's try west.
Gammon says, "How about we mark more than just the pile of rocks? Let's mark a tree every 100 feet."
That does sound like a good idea.
He says, "Or a rock or something else."
You
Tig says, "I don't know if I got enough pee for all that."
We're thinking more of like ashes on the bark.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
As I just mark one tree with a claw.
So you guys start walking around again. Which direction do you go? North, south, east, or west? It's marked on the map.
Where's it? Oh, there it is.
Where-
Oh, we head the direction we're facing, which is south.
You guys head south.
At least Tiggs is assuming that it is south.
It feels like south. Let's just put it this way. You guys go, and it does feel like you guys are going south. And suddenly, you are marking trees as you go.
Do we come upon any of our marks?
You suddenly find that you are back here with the rock that has the P on it and the marking of the stone.
Tiggs takes a sniff of the rocks and says, "Yep, Tiggs was here."
But the weird thing is, you look down the way that feels like south again, but you don't see any of the marks that you left. Only here is where you see the marks.
Okay, so she goes over and takes her staff, and she puts a large X where the S, or not where the S is, that's out of character, where south is.
Alright?
We aren't going that way. That's spooky behavior, and no.
And Tiggs climbs up on the pile of rocks, so he's up on top of it, jumps down the other side and says, "Okay, we go this way."
West?
West?
And he says, whatever.
East?
He says, well, maybe it's west, but it's not that way, and he points the direction of the X.
You find, once more, as you go, marking territory, you come back here. There's the mark of south, but nothing beyond the south part. And now, where you marked, where you guys were marking before, you're back here again.
Another
seems
X
like-
is placed.
It seems like this area is just, anything that's put in the area is marked, but you keep coming back to it.
I don't like it.
We'll go
She
east
puts
now.
another little X where the west is.
So you go, now you're going east. Same verse, same as the first.
Let's go back. Maybe we could take the road.
Tig says there is one good thing as he leans against the rocks. Smells like home. Tiggs was here.
Let's
mean,
go
he's not
back.
wrong.
Maybe we could take the road. I don't like it.
Gammon Gall says we have to find the road.
You guys try retracing your steps.
Yes.
You go back the way you came, and once more you find yourself back here.
Gammon Gall says me suspects there is magic involved with
There is magic
this.
afoot.
Who
There's
has
magic
knowledge
involved
magic?
with
Make a
I
roll.
I
do.
don't think either one of mine do.
I have knowledge magic, I think. Yes. There it is. I was looking for my arrow on my ring. And I have gotten
I do know this.
21.
21.
21.
Oh yeah, this be magic! Not just any kind of magic, some magic that you've never seen before.
I assume so.
That was helpful. That was helpful.
Tig says, you mean this is magic we've never seen before? Tig says,
It's definitely magic.
Tig says, I think someone has seen this magic before.
Well, of course.
Because
they-
Tiggs was here.
I mean, he does have a point. Tiggs was here.
There. Would it be a bad idea if we split up?
A Gammon Gall
Are you guys splitting up?
says, I think that would probably be a very bad idea. He says on the one hand, we'll all just end up here, which is no worse than what we were. But on the other hand, if this is magically and intentionally done, then someone may attack each of us while we are on our own before we can come back here. He says, I don't think this is accidental.
But we're stuck. What else could we do?
Tig says, well, maybe we'll investigate this place that we're stuck in. Maybe there's a reason why we're stuck here. He picks up a rock off the pile of rocks and hurls it off into the mist.
Well,
5 seconds later, the rock comes spinning back towards Tiggs. Make a acrobatics roll to dodge out of the way.
No, he rolled very well.
Difficulty
He 29.
29. Oh yeah, you definitely you easily dodge the rock as it comes spinning back towards you.
Tig says that tears it. There's definitely magic involved here.
that is a North Docks.
I'm going to have you guys make a roll because otherwise you guys will stand here for all eternity. Eventually, you will make the correct combination to one of the 9 destinations. Depending on what you roll, will indicate where you end up first. Everybody make a wandering roll, combine them all, and tell me what it is.
Wandering?
Wandering! Use your wisdom.
Ooh. God.
It's a skill. If somebody gets a natural 20, I'll put you in the right spot that you need to be in.
No natural 20s. Tig's got 18.
Got 13.
Gammon Gall got 18 as well.
Who's doing math?
What'd you get?
That's
13.
36 between my two.
A total of 65.
65. All right. Move the map and put yourselves in the center. It was either going to be one of the 3 areas, but put yourselves in the center area.
I require them up north.
Yeah.
So pretty much where we were, right here. Right here.
I dropped it behind us.
Put that in the pasture.
What is the pasture?
I don't know what you think is the pasture.
I'm gonna go with there.
And put that guy in the pasture with the giant gabion.
I've come to the conclusion that Jane is about as close to a kittykin as a human being can be. She
Yes.
makes a kitty cat type sound with every motion.
She does. I love that woman. Here's the thing, though. You guys come across what appears to be a little farm. It's a 10 by 10 area surrounded by fog, but you clearly see you are now in a different spot. In this spot, there is a tiny little house with a tiny little pasture with a very small female gabion and what appears to be a surly looking dwarf. And I mean like grumpy from Disney dwarf. He looks like that, except if he was more like fantasy. So he looks at you, his eyes raise up, and he goes, "Oh, great. More people stuck."
Sorry.
No, it's my fault.
How is it your fault?
The big question, since he looks like Grumpy from Snow White, is can he play the bellows with his ass?
That's a good point.
You should ask him that question.
He looks at you guys, and he goes, "All right. Come on in. I'll explain what's going on, and maybe you might get out of here, maybe you won't. Regardless, you can't stay here."
Thank
And
you very much.
Tiggs walks up and extends his paw to him.
He looks down at it, and he goes, "Hmm." And he walks over to his cabin. He goes inside. You can hear him rummaging, and he goes, "What do you want? As a drink."
Tiggs looks around and says, "This dwarf is not wise. He was just offered the esteemed privilege of shaking the paw of Tiggs the Mighty."
I don't think he cares.
Tiggs says, "Obviously," which proves his lack of wisdom and foresight.
Everyone make a roll. Tiggs just talked to himself, literally.
Mm.
And what do we add?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
No.
I'm literally no. Tiggs not talking to himself, but at the same time, he's just like
He just talks.
he just talks.
He just talks.
So he goes, "What do you guys want for a drink?"
Perhaps the water would be nice.
Got water.
Gammon Gall says, "What do you have?"
He goes, "Well, I got different types of fermented mushroom beer, wine, whiskey."
Says we drink a lot. Well, it says we drink a lot of mushrooms up north. Says I'll try one of those mushroom beers. Doesn't matter which one.
He hands you some, and honestly, it's pretty good. As you take a sip, he looks at you. "What do you want?"
I'm good.
Okay.
Rabbit Fangirl says, "Yes, she is in fact a cat. As a friend who has been my friend since 3rd grade, she knows."
And
I know
and is still your friend.
I know which
my
fan
friend.
this is.
Those are rare.
I know who this person is. Let's see. He looks at Tiggs and he goes, "What do you want?"
And Tiggs makes a cat like hiss and spit and is like, "Tiggs the Mighty needs nothing."
He goes, "Fine." He sits down on his porch.
Tiggs is offended, so.
He goes, "Tiggs can be offended." But he sits down on his porch, his legs hanging off the little porch. He looks at all of you and he goes, "All right, listen. I'm sorry you are currently in this predicament. The few people that have come through my neck of the woods, I have sent off with this information, and I never see him again. Listen, it's my fault that you guys are here. Now,
Gammon Gall says, "Why is it your fault?" By the way, this mushroom beer is quite good.
he goes, "Thank you. My name is." I have the name here. Hold on. Bring it out. Bum, bum, bum.
I love how it comes from. My name is. Hold on, real fast. I need.
I've got my name pretty good.
Carthage. My name is Carthage. I am one of the dwarves of Hingarifa, but I exiled myself years ago.
And a Gammon Gall
Finger my hand,
says,
okay?
"Is that why it's your fault that we're here?
Kind of.
Because of your banishing yourself from..."
You use some kind of magic, right?
Kind of. When I first arrived here in the marshes, I figured it was going to be a nice place to kind of just relax, be alone. I wanted to be alone. Nobody would leave me alone. So, I came out here to the Marshlands, set up a little house, and came across the idol.
The what now?
The idol. The idol is a collection of rocks. Well, I should call them rocks, but it's odd. But it doesn't really matter. When I touched it, this fog appeared.
Tig says, "A pile of rocks?"
Yes.
He says, "Tiggs is rocks. The rocks where Tiggs was at."
Maybe. But there were, what was it? 5 rocks around a singular rock that was carved. Didn't look dwarven made.
I don't know if that's the right one. Tiggs.
Tig says, "I'll know it if I smell it because Tiggs was there."
Well, I wandered around a bit after the fog came up and found myself back here. But ever since then, I slowly discovered there's paths through the fog. How do you get out of here? I don't know. I can't
Gammon
figure that
Gall
one out.
says, "Was the Gavion here when you got here?"
Yes, I did bring him from north. Back from the palaces of Gaul.
Why didn't you exile yourself?
Why?
Tig says, "Probably because he couldn't play the bellows with his ass yet."
The
Tiggs.
what?
Everyone just looks at you like, what the?
Tiggs,
What?
stick your tail in your mouth and shut up.
Tig sticks his tail in his mouth and says, "Pretty good, actually."
He looks down and he goes, well,
I had to get it in there.
I came all the way out here to get away from it. I have a condition. Sometimes I blank out, and sometimes I see possible futures.
Oh,
Of course, these futures are usually 1 out of 4 tend to be correct. But nevertheless, people kept bothering me about, oh, can you tell me the future? What's going to happen to my baby? Are they going to grow up big and strong? Blah, blah, blah. And I just don't have time for that. I just wanted to tend to my
Now,
farm.
Gammon Gall says, "Trivial questions. Trivial futures."
And I couldn't really answer them because sometimes I'd be right, sometimes I'd be wrong. And I just did not want to deal with it. I just wanted to farm. You know? Just wanted to farm with my gabion and ferment some mushrooms in my basement. That's all I need. But ever since I touched that stone, this area has been laid in fog, and some of the owl people tend to
meow.
yes, owl people. I don't know what exactly they call themselves. I think they're called the Owlins. But ever since I touched that stone, they've been bothering me.
Well, Tig says, "Why don't you go touch the stone again? Maybe you'll turn it all off."
I tried, but there's this weird inscription underneath. I don't know what it says. I bet the Owlins know what it is, but they tend to just attack me on sight, so I stay here at my house. They don't tend to come here. And if they do come here, I can easily shoo them off back into the fog.
Gammon Gall says, "Do you see these visions by your will, or do they simply come to you?
They just come to me. In fact, 2 have already come to me now talking to you, but I'm pretty sure they are just bogus.
Tig says, was one of them a powerful orange kittykин riding on the pack of the greatest kaiju in the world?
No.
He goes,
Absolutely
oh, shit.
Would you look through my book and see if you have any of any of these that look familiar?
He takes a look through your book and he goes, I take it you have the same condition as I do. Some of these I've seen before, but they're bogus ones.
Bogus?
Something that honestly would never happen.
Like what?
This one about an octopus, I'm pretty sure is completely bogus. An octopus pretending to be a man? Bogus. Would never happen.
Bad! We don't need Octodad in this.
What do you mean? That is just a great game. For those who are watching and understand the reference, kudos to you. We're moving on from it, though. So, he goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have the same condition as I have. You have the connection to the sixth.
The sixth?
Yes. Now, most people call me crazy when I talk about it, but do they get visions? No. So I consider myself to be an expert on this at the moment.
You're the next than I am.
Well, I'm pretty sure these visions are coming from some sixth realm, a realm beyond this one, that we haven't discovered yet. I'm pretty sure, because it's the only explanation that makes sense to me.
What other explanations could there be?
My alcohol will give you visions. If it does, that might answer it, but I highly doubt it.
Tig says most alcohol will give you visions if you drink too much of it.
True.
Very true.
So, I will give you... There seems to be some directions. If you guys can puzzle it out, that'll be fantastic. But otherwise, I only know 2 ways around this accursed fog. Either to the stone, or to the Owlins village.
Tig says, then we need to go to the Owlins village. We can ask them how to get out, and if they don't tell us, then we can beat it out of them.
Well, let's try not being too violent. But it could be a good idea since you said that the rocks, the symbol was owl?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's Owlin. It wouldn't make any other sense. I've never seen it. It's not any of the southern languages. It's not any of the Nithian languages. It's not Gaul, for sure. It's really weird. Not of Zale, not of Gornux. I've never seen the language before.
Then it has to be theirs.
Maybe.
Tig says, or someone else that we've never seen before.
Maybe?
Tig just likes to talk.
Where would could you give us both directions?
Certainly. I've discovered one thing about the fog. If at any point you get messed up and turned around, just head south 3 times, and it seems to reset itself, the magic.
Okay. What's the directions?
He gives you the directions, and I'm not going to go out to it. It's just going to take too long to actually bring the other map out. Go north, south, east, west. So you go to the Arwen village, which is, I believe...
We never agreed that we were going to the village.
Well, are you going to the village or the rocks?
Tiggs is going to the village. He's already been to the rocks.
Not sure about
Tiggs was here.
So we'll go to the village.
You guys go out of the clearing, and he wishes you luck, and he hopes to see you if you guys are able to clear the fog. But he says that many people have tried before, and la-di-da-di-da-da, good luck, I'll never see you again. Because
None of those was Tiggs the Mighty and his stalwart companions.
You're
So you arrive at the village. Now this village is made of what appears to be North American teepees.
Tig says, "Wow, these
North American? I forget which tribes used the used teepees.
Give me a second, I'll find out.
Because
Tig
I want to be considerate of that.
Tig says, "Wow, these teepees look like they come straight from North America."
Well, a particular, I think Western.
Mm.
I know it's one of the nomadic tribes. I want to make sure I get that correct because I don't want to be a dick. I like teepees, and they're like a good like idea of a tribe, but I want to be considerate. Or is it the Western? I can't remember. Jane's looking it up. We're getting you that information, and that's what you should do. If you never know something, you look it up.
There are several different tribes that use teepees.
Plains Indians like the Blackfoot. Oh god, I'm going to butcher all these.
Names.
I'm just going to butcher all these names. But it seems the Plains Indians like the Blackfoot. I'm not even going to attempt it. I apologize. Look it up. We're going with Blackfoot. Maybe.
Paho.
Paho?
Cool, go with Blackfoot.
I can say Blackfoot.
Yeah.
Lakota.
I'm 1/4 Blackfoot.
Really?
Mm-hmm. My mom's side.
I double checked that, but I'll believe you.
My grandfather on my mom's side was Blackfoot and Irish.
Cool.
That's pretty fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. But continuing on, you guys arrive at this village. Now this village looks like it's been here for a while.
Gamangal takes a close look at the teepees and says, "I would assume these owls are burrowers because most owls make their nests in trees."
You guys notice that indeed these teepees look close to the ground, and it looks like they have burrowed into, so it's kind of like acting as a roof. They use the teepees as a roof to underneath. Kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that, only a lot lower to the ground. There doesn't seem to be anybody here, though. There is a fire with some food on it.
Hello?
What's the food look like?
The food looks like... I don't know if we ever established any, like, herd animals here.
What is it, meat? It looks like meat.
Looks like meat.
Tiggs goes up and helps himself.
Tiggs, that's rude.
You hear a violent clicking. You hear a violent clicking as what appears to be a woman come out of one of the tents, one of the teepees. She is tall, lanky looking, and she looks human, except that around her face are owl feathers, and the cloak around her looks like an owl's
wings.
Like an owl's wings, except she has hands. But it's a cloak, and she's clicking at you, going, "Nope."
I told you, Tiggs, that's very rude.
Who are you?
Tig says, "But I'm very hungry."
It's very rude.
Trapped in here, eh?
Yeah.
Gamangal says, "It says so. It would seem."
Well, congratulations.
Are you trapped in here as well?
All because of that stupid dwarf.
And Tig says, "Yes, he is a stupid dwarf."
Do you know how we can fix the problem?
Me husband is gone. I'm going with Jamaican here. I don't know why.
Wait.
So how do we
I
get
don't
Native
know.
Americans and Jamaicans combined?
You are trying so hard to be respectful, and then all of a sudden you try an accent.
You're going to use the Jamaican accent. Me husband is gone. I'm just fucking okay.
Now he's half Jamaican and half like
Irish.
The respect is out the window. The
Why
respect
don't you
is out.
drop the accent?
But the accent's fun. It's a great accent. I love
At least the owl didn't turn into a Southern Belle.
True.
I had a character like that. They hated her. They hated her so much. Okay, Fine. My husband is gone.
Where would he be?
He's currently out trying to find one of the 5. I don't understand it very much. My daughter, I have to stay here and pay attention to the fire. Make sure that these people, my people, are safe.
Yes, that's understandable.
But you can take my daughter.
Tig says, why do we want to take your daughter?
Take my daughter, and she gives you directions. And it seems to be the same directions that the dwarf gave you. It's to the pile of... it's to the, what?
Our watcher says, interesting accent, TJ.
Me husband is gone! Here we go again! No. She gives you directions and she says, take my daughter. She clicks towards, like an owl clicks. And you see a smaller girl come out. She looks to be 17, 16 in human age. She also has that same cloak. And she walks out and she nods a little bit. And she goes, hello. And she goes, this is my daughter. This is my daughter.
The daughter didn't inherit the effed up accent though.
Our friend says, I think you have done Welsh, Irish, New York, and then Jamaican.
All thrown in.
All together.
This is a mongrel accent.
So,
I love how your pencil is just totally in the way, and I hadn't noticed it until now.
which reminds me, can you pull a female character out of there?
Can't we just use this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Avada Kedavra, we pulled a female.
She
an owl.
looks at you and she goes, this is my daughter.
And she is an owl.
This is my daughter, Kotop.
Co-top?
Kotop.
Okay.
Tiggs extends a paw and says, welcome, Kotop.
She looks down at your hand and very owlishly cocks her head, like even further than a human should, and then you see a very delicate hand reach out and shake it.
Tiggs shakes the hand and says, well met. I am Tiggs the Mighty. Says these are my brave and stalwart companions.
She nods and she looks at a Gammon and she immediately holds out her hand.
A Gammon takes her hand and says, I am a Gammon of the north. From the north, the lands of Gaul.
She cocks her head again. She goes, north? No, you are to the west.
He says, I'm pretty sure we're to the north.
No, there is a northern part of here that holds the god. But, no.
He says, the god.
West. North and
He
west.
says, there is a god here.
Everyone knows there's no such thing as a god in the fifth realm. She goes, maybe. I've never been up north myself. Just know the stories. The mother kind of like clicks her like an owl again. It doesn't sound, I'm not doing it justice. It sounds like an owl clicking its beak, except she looks human as she does it.
So she has no beak.
She has no beak, but she is clicking like she has a beak. She looks at you.
I look back.
Introduce yourself.
She then cocks her head a little bit more, and then looks at you.
I'm Bijou.
She nods. Her hand extends.
Holds out her paw.
She shakes it, and she goes, 2 kittykins.
Yes.
Tiggs says you always have to have at least 2 kittykins.
Is any
He says
of your people
kittykins are good luck.
Are any of you from Nith?
Our companions from Nith are, well, he is.
I'm from Nith.
She cocks her head and she goes, The mother goes, we have a strong relationship with Nith.
Really?
Well, we send feathers their way. You probably, have you ever met somebody of a coven?
No, Jane. She's from the coven. What's her name? Jane. I told her.
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Just call her Shepherd.
Shepherd.
She goes, never heard that name, but the covens use our feathers in scroll making.
Oh.
They can create replicas of us, but not as good. Kind of more bestial, or more, for lack of better words, are more nature-ish forms.
Oh. That's interesting.
And suddenly it occurs to you all, yes, indeed, you have seen Shepherd take feathers and grind them into ink, along with the other ingredients. She goes, well, our tribe, supplies those feathers for them. Very useful in scroll making. Of course, they never give us credit, but they do pay well. For feathers that we naturally get rid of anyway, we charge Nith a dime for them.
It's a good way of making some cash.
She goes, especially out here. These marshes, along with our brothers and sisters that are further north, there is a giant kaiju dragon that's north as well.
Tig's eyes perk up.
Excuse me?
Well, very far north. But our brothers and sisters lie in the only place the dragon will not attack.
Oh.
Do not worry. The dragon kaiju will not attack.
Tig says,
his name is on my computer somewhere.
Tig says, you're perfectly safe around a kaiju, provided another kaiju doesn't come close. He says, kaiju only attack each other.
She shakes her head and she goes, mm-mm.
No.
They will attack travelers as well.
Yeah.
It is dangerous to be in kaiju country, but Gornux seems to keep it at bay.
Gornux?
Oh, the dragon who rules this land.
True.
They say he is almost as big as a kaiju himself. But I do not believe the story. I just like to stay here in the swamp. I've only ever passed the Great White Mountain. Never went in.
Well,
Again, Gaul.
Too many people.
Can you navigate this swamp?
Well,
there seems to be a strange magic to it which gets folks lost.
We can fly out, but that is what my husband is doing. He is currently trying to fight one of the avatars.
Avatars?
Well, that stupid dwarf, in his attempt to be away from everybody, came here, probably by accident, to be as far away as from people, and touched the statue of the chained god. And by doing this, he activated it, and thus created this fog.
Can we deactivate it?
Only if you deal with the 5 avatars.
I have a question. Chained god?
Yes.
There's no such
There's
thing
no
as
such
gods.
thing as gods in this realm, I thought. Am I mistaken?
Gammon Gaul says there are no gods in Gaul. Unless, of course, you consider my
aside
father,
from-
who would like to consider himself one.
I mean, there is, of course, the...
Well, the Niths worship Nithia, the
Nithia
god,
is...
the goddess of Nith and everything.
Nith is not a goddess. She was just a plain old human. Although there are...
She just said sacrilege about your religion. You come from Nith. She just said there was no Nithia.
There are...
She said Nithia was a plain human being. This is like the equivalent of saying Jesus was just a carpenter. Okay? This is like saying to a Christian, Jesus was just a carpenter. She just insulted your religion.
There are some
But
gods
do I
that
care?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Roll. Do you care?
Nope.
Okay.
Tig says.
I guess he's not
Tig
a
says
card.
everyone knows there are no gods here. The gods come from the other realms, such
There's
as the Great
also-
Turtle. The
there's
Great
also-
Turtle is my god.
There's also rumors of Nanako and Nico.
She goes, oh, those old gods.
They're just legends.
She talks as though they're others. She
Uh-huh.
goes, there's many gods of this realm, but they are work in mysterious ways. The one god that we worship, the chained god, he is up north.
Why is he chained?
She sighs and she goes, that is not my pay grade. All I know is he is to remain chained. This
Tig's
ancient
Tig
artifact.
says he was bad.
This ancient artifact must have been some sort of like test run, because this fog is the same kind of fog that protects our brothers and sisters up north. We can easily leave any time because we can simply fly over the fog. But we are one of the only species, apart from dragons, that can fly.
So I guess we have. You said
There's also the Kingdom of Zel has those flying shark things as well, but they tend to get lost in fogs.
the Kingdom of Zel most do have wings. Unfortunately, not all can fly.
They're just decoration. She goes, well, if you deal with these... Well, if you go to the stone, there probably will be more information. That's why I'm sending my daughter, Kotop.
Alright.
What
I
was
hope
it?
we can lift the fog for you.
She goes, if you do, you'd be the first. And not only that, I would make sure you go off with feathers and a cloak of our people.
Thank you.
Because in reality, we have to ship these feathers out by hand, by flying. Whole lot easier to have the Nithians come and waste their own money getting here. And they've not been able to.
Not to mention, if you were wide open for business, you'd have probably have a lot of other folks buying your feathers.
Very true.
She goes, just make sure you do not go south, south, east, east, west, west, north, north, and then north one more time.
Why?
Sounds like a combo.
There is this stupid thing there that I got trapped in, and he kept bothering me. Do not go there. I left it there. Do not touch it.
May I ask what it was?
Some stupid. I'm now suddenly becoming Jamaican again. But I think it heightens it. And I'm sorry if I'm like being insensitive. It's just a great accent to do, and I love it. And I love it. I love the people.
It's like a mix between like Russian, Italian grandma and Jamaica.
It morphs. It morphs with every paragraph.
Every breath.
Every paragraph
Thank you.
morphs it into a new.
That stupid thing. It's kept saying, do you have kaijin cubes? Do you have kaijin cubes? I do not. I do not care about that. I like buttons. They make good money here. Kaijin cubes, sometimes. But we don't need them. We do not want to draw the wrath of the dragon.
What?
Just don't go there to that clearing.
Okay.
Tig says, well, it's kind of hard to know what clearing we're going to end up in. Seems like every time we walk somewhere, we end up some other place. As long as we don't go back to where Tig's was.
She wishes you good luck, and Kotop leads you back through the fog and to the very same clearing where everything happens there. And there's the rock with Tiggs' mark on it. She sniffs and she goes,
Tig goes, this is where we didn't want to end up.
it's where you always end up when you first leave an area. So, you now have 2 new destinations to go. And at this point, Kevin, I'm going to have to ask you a question. Can you please get me and Tim and yourself a chocolate milk? Please.
That face doesn't look promising.
Boop.
Jane, why'd you kill him?
He died
Reenact?
very...
This
He
is
died
the
very
exact
easily.
opposite of what we wanted to happen.
Fang! You only get one.
Thank you, Kevin.
Only one.
Okay.
I've made it clear.
No one's had into my chocolate yet.
Oh,
Well, I was waiting for you to open it, so because I felt it rude.
Yeah.
which, by the way, the, Kotop is currently standing there, and she's looking down at the rock, and she goes,
Help yourself.
I have to ask, why is... I said I would fix that from the other weekend. I still haven't done that. Don't judge me. So, she looks at the rock and she goes, have you... And she looks at Tiggs and then looks at the rock.
Tiggs was here.
She goes,
Because we were trying to find our way out, I figured if I marked it in a way that everyone would know, we'd know we were here again.
she goes,
Of course, at that time, we didn't know that there was a magical element involved.
she just looks at the rock. You see her inch away a little bit. Her little, her robe that looks like a coat of wings of, they look like, they are feathers. She kind of like inches away and she goes, that is rather disgusting.
I know.
Tiggs goes,
Oh, wait, hold on.
he goes,
I'm lying. Wait. That is fucking disgusting.
Well, now we're into
What
pure
the heck
Irish.
was that?
Now we're into pure Irish.
That wasn't Irish.
No,
Disgusting.
that was fucking disgusting.
She just looks at Tiggs and just shakes her head and she goes, you don't do that, do you?
No.
Tiggs turns and looks and goes, you've never marked before?
I never need to.
Tiggs goes,
And if anything, I use my scent glands on my shoulders rather than my urine.
Tiggs says, but the urine is so much stronger. It has so much more a powerful sense of Tiggs.
No, thank you.
She goes, well, where do you wish to go? I know my mother said don't go to him, but if you want to.
Who's
She
he?
kind of like bashes her eyes a little bit. She goes, I like him. He's nice.
Who's he?
Oh, he's like us, like a bird, but different.
Nope. No, thank you. I'm pretty sure I know exactly who you're talking about, and I really don't like him very much. He's not very nice.
She goes, huh,
Is he bird-like with the beak?
yes.
Tiggs says
No.
Tiggs says very small and loud.
And has a shop?
Yes. He sells things in his shop, wondrous things.
A gammon Gall says,
but for some
and I
reason-
suspect he's also a liar and a cheat.
No, she talks like she's like, this is like somebody else you've never like met before. She's like, no, he sells everything, but he gives me gifts.
Gammon Gall says, yep, liar and a cheat.
He gives gifts?
Come, I'll show you. He's such a nice man.
Oh.
And she starts leading you through the fog. And eventually you come to a clearing. Top one. Oh, top one.
Right here.
Well, there's... You mean here?
Yeah.
Top middle.
Top in relative to me.
Top middle.
Well, that
Top
is the
center.
top for me.
I can't tell if that is like, if we can see that.
It's... Yes.
We can see it well?
We got numbers in there.
There's a whole bunch of mess on this one,
We
but
need a new map.
we do.
Yep.
Who wants to donate a new map?
We've got our things paid for right now.
Yep. We are going to BFG Con in Frederick. We'll see you there.
If we do well, we'll have plenty of money to buy a new map with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you arrive in the clearing and put your characters in the clearing. And you see her skip over to a table, a wooden table in the middle of nowhere. On top of the table is a very familiar snow globe.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me.
Tiggs goes, well, I guess unfortunately for all of you, there's no dust around here. We're outside.
She sighs and she goes, it's true, dust doesn't seem to accumulate out here. But she taps the table and like rubs it. There's no dust on it. She goes, But sometimes he seems to let me in no problems. Here, I'll show you. And she touches the globe, she disappears.
Oh, you forgot TJ's?
Does he have a crush on this girl?
In the immortal words of Iron Man, maybe.
That's adorable.
You actually look inside, and there she is. You see Butters come out of the door. He claps, and he says hi. He looks up. He frowns a little bit, shakes his head, says something to her. She sighs, and he gives her something, and she appears back. And in her hand is what appears to be a... You've never seen it before, but it seems to be like a test tube.
Test tube?
She goes, he just gave this to me.
What is that?
Apparently, it's an island in a bottle.
Oh.
But you see her put it into her robe. Said it was for me.
That's really sweet of him. Now here, let me try something. She digs into her pocket and holds out a kaijin cube and waves it over the bowl.
He looks at it and he sighs.
What the hell did I miss?
Apparently, there's a snow globe of Waldo Butters. He sighs, and you see him kind of do this, and you all appear in his snow globe again. Once again, though, it is completely dark around, but grass is going out into the darkness, and then there seems to be like a field. You can't see where you are, but you are once again in the snow globe, and Butters is looking at you. He goes, okay, 3 times in 3 episodes you've bothered me. What do you guys want?
Sorry, we didn't mean to
But
bother
Gammon
you
Golf
the first
says,
I'll take your kaijin cube. Just ask what you want.
Gammon Golf says, and it doesn't seem to matter what we want. Just it matters that little Bijou here knew exactly what you wanted.
It
All
wasn't
right.
hard to find out since he wouldn't take my own money.
Tig says, Gammon Golf says he's about as transparent as glass, isn't he?
Yeah.
He sighs. He goes,
Unfortunately, and a
Somebody made-
Gammon Golf turns his head so Butters can't see him and winks at Bijou and says, unfortunately, he's not up to the time with the 5th realm. I mean, kaijin cubes have been rendered worthless by the newest findings up north.
But yes. Sorry, that was me trying to figure
everybody
out
make
what...
a leap
Yeah,
in
he's
logic.
telling her that he's pulling one on Butters, saying that kaijin cubes are worthless now.
You can attempt to do a deception, but he rolled very good on... He doesn't look deceived.
Yeah, no.
Everybody make a leap in logic roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nope. We're not going to talk
Nope.
about
Nope.
that. We're not going to even
No.
talk about that roll.
I have a natural 20. I already have leap in logic.
That was my roll.
You got a natural 20?
I already have leap in logic.
One worse than mine. But mine both rolled an 8.
It suddenly occurs to you, now that you're back
No,
here,
that's a 1.
Oh,
That-
that's 7.
you're pretty sure you gave the snow globe to Bugs. And
No.
Bugs took it.
I thought so too.
No, I left it with Lily and
I was
No, you
pretty
just
sure
left it with
Bugs.
Lily because Zoltan was in the
Zoltan
thing.
was still in the
I was
thing.
pretty sure that Bugs took it though.
No. Because Bugs left before she left it.
Regardless, this is not the same snow globe.
How is it that there's more than one snow globe?
He goes, you honestly think I only have one door to my shop?
Fair point.
Honey, I've got doors everywhere. I could send you anywhere in the 5th realm you want, just not in places you want to be. If you
What?
know what I mean. I mean, the treasure halls of King Obo, you don't want to go there. He's got guards and security everywhere. But one of his people come in every so often and waves money in front of my face. So,
That sounds torturous for you.
How about my father's treasure keeps?
oddly enough, I've never gotten anybody from him.
Oh, golf.
I've only ever
Gammon
had
says,
one
"Not
person
surprising."
come, and she was an absolute right bitch.
A Gammon says, that doesn't surprise me. My father is very jealous of his hoard.
Now, if you want to talk about people who are willing to shell out a lot of money, that orb loves shelling out money. I don't know why they want a lot of this occult stuff, but that's just me.
Who?
He goes, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You guys got me monologuing. He goes, are you here to buy anything or not?
Yeah.
What?
I need to look around.
How much money you got?
Quite a lot.
In Kaijin cubes.
21.
Okay, alright, fine. You can look around. The rest of you, get out. And you suddenly see everybody disappears back. She is also there, and she was just standing there the entire time. She goes, isn't he wonderful?
Is she in with her or out with us?
Out with you.
A
She
Gammon
did
Gall
go
says-
back in.
A Gammon Gall says, I trust him about as far as I can throw a mountain.
She says,
I like that.
just leave the snow globe. Your kitty friend will be able to find us back at the meeting point.
Tig says, what if we broke the snow globe?
I'd say we wait until she gets out to find out.
Tiggs looks at the dragon and says, are you game?
You see her go, but no, I won't be able to see him.
A Gammon Gall says, that's not a bad thing. He's playing you for something.
What?
He says, I don't know, but something. Says, I don't trust that one at all.
He's so nice, though.
Tig says, they usually are. Until they get what they want, then they just toss you aside.
Meanwhile, you're inside. What do you want? There's many things.
And she's
and
looking around at a few fairy make they has. Curious about the gem they has.
You see him suddenly do this. Take out a pocket watch, click it twice, and then puts it back. She suddenly appears in front of you. Make your shopping decision. Because what he basically did was he paused time. It's now going a whole lot slower in the globe to allow you time to get your stuff and get out. Because he heard the break the globe and he doesn't want to be stuck with you.
At this point, Tiggs picks up the snow globe and says, I wonder if he has earthquakes. And he starts shaking it vigorously.
Nothing happens, but you see him sigh. So what do you see, Jane? There's many things in here. Many things, many wondrous things. And this time you have a bit more money.
Yes.
Actual money he likes.
Actual
says-
money he likes.
Tiggs looks at the dragon again and says, he saw the snow globe from out here. I wonder if he can hear us. I wonder if I should mark Tiggs has been here too.
All right. Suddenly she appears at that moment with a, what were you thinking? Because he explained all this to you.
Tiggs? Bad kitty.
But what do you get while inside?
Bad kitty.
I will say this. There is a particular item that you may have found that
What
he
would
was
that be?
willing to sell to you.
What would that be? Help me out.
Do you want to be mechanic or flavor?
Both?
Either one.
Flavor.
Okay. You find a bell.
A bell.
A bell. When you ring the bell, by the way, I'm now going to quickly say this. Please go to the SCP articles. I'm about to do the butler bell. Look it up. Very awesome. I'm literally using it because it's awesome. You ring the bell and a butler, like a full-on butler, walks around the corner and he looks at you and he says, what do you wish? He goes, this one, a very interesting thing. I'll take all 20 of your kaijin cubes for it. Because, oh boy, you can't get this anywhere else.
What does it do?
He says, if you ring the bell, a butler, him, he points at the butler, will suddenly appear and, for lack of better words, grant anything within his power to do. Don't ask him to kill anybody, but if you want to say, I want a bologna sandwich, he'll go get a bologna sandwich.
Where?
Ask him. Say, give me a bologna sandwich.
Where would he get one?
No, watch. Do it.
Can I have a sandwich?
He literally he reaches behind him and pulls out a silver platter with a bologna sandwich on it. He gives it to you, and then as you blink, he disappears.
This is quite useful. Where does the sandwich come from?
He goes, I have absolutely no idea, and neither did the Foundation.
Foundation of what?
Takes
Oh,
looks at
long
the
time
dragon
ago.
and says, breathe fire on it. See what fire does to it.
Do you know what that man's trying to do to my thing? Now that you have your thing, thank you for the 21 Kaijin cubes. Get the hell out! And you reappear out.
With a sandwich.
With a sandwich.
And a bell.
And a bell.
Just how about to breathe fire?
I don't?
Tiggs and the dragon are both laughing, doing a lot of laughing.
I stopped.
Tiggs, was this your doing?
He says, what was my doing?
We both know what was your doing.
Tiggs says, was there any earthquakes in there while you were in there? He says, was there any yellow rain?
No.
You see that Kotop looks absolutely horrified. Absolutely horrified.
Have you been torturing this poor friend?
Tiggs says, no, we've been trying to figure out ways to break the ball.
Please don't.
He says, you're sweet on it. You're sweet on the birdie guy.
No, I actually really like her, and she seems quite upset about your actions.
Why would you pee on it?
Tiggs says, that's because he's under her spell. Agamangal says he's using her and he doesn't realize it. And she doesn't realize she's being used.
And what if, by any chance, Bird likes Bird?
Agamangal says, I don't think it has anything to do with it. That may be her case, but we have...
Has he ever given anyone anything for free?
Agamangal says, we have creatures like that up north. We call them politicians.
Well, I have a sandwich. Who wants it?
She goes, I don't think I could eat after what I've just witnessed.
I'll take it.
Tiggs says, oh, I could. The dragon can.
I also have this really cool bell.
What's it do?
Out of the fog comes a butler. You know what? I'm just going to quickly say this because... What time is it? I did not know this was going to be such a... Sidetrack. There's going to just be 3 avatars.
Okay.
Alright, was 5, but the birds have... The owlins have dealt with the other 2.
Okay. She politely says, would you please, flick Tig's ear real fast for me?
He looks at you.
Pretty please.
And he looks at Tiggs, and he goes... I'm trying to remember the actual rules. He goes, Madam, I'm sorry I cannot do that. I cannot harm anybody. But if you wish for some gold, platinum...
Tiggs says, how about some kitty vittles?
Kitty vittles?
Hey, I rung the bell.
Do you wish for kitty vittles?
Tiggs says, yes, she does.
I would like a rubber band.
A rubber band?
Yes.
She goes, big or small?
This long.
Perfect size. And you see him reach into a pocket, give it to you, and he walks back out into the fog and disappears.
Thank you.
I'm hoping I'm doing that SCP right. Remember, SCP, Butler's Bell. I don't remember the actual number, though.
Apparently he gives
Good,
me
aren't they?
anything I want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone.
I'm pretty sure that's the rule. And if it's not, then I'm...
As long as he doesn't hurt him. You know, him hurting others. Whatever I do with it.
So, she goes, well, now that I'm permanently scarred...
I'm very sorry that they were so mean to you.
She goes, do you want to go see the stone?
Yes, please.
You guys, she takes you back.
Tiggs
through-
looks at the dragon and says she can find it by smell now if she wants to.
You see, she goes, I'm trying not to smell it. I already smell it every single time I think about the snow globe now. I'll have to wash it. You arrive at the top rightmost thing.
Thing.
This one here?
Yeah. So move everybody, move the camera.
We're gonna have to move whatever is over there. The glasses, the milk, the dice.
You come to what appears to be a very large male-looking creature doing this, screaming to the heavens, and there's 2 on this arm, 2 on this arm, and around his neck, chains that go back to stones. And he's like this. 2 of the chains have already been broken. This one on his bicep and this one on his forearm. On the plaque that's in front of it is letters in a language none of you know.
What does that say?
She goes, each one is directions towards one of the avatars. She looks down, she squints, and she goes, The horror from below, the fishman of Nal, and Grog.
Tiggs says, and who is he? Points to the guy that's in the chains.
She looks up and she smiles. She goes, the chained god.
Tiggs says, so that's what a god looks like?
She goes, well, this is just a statue of him. And before the dwarf created the fog, we would come here and pray. It's kind of a ritual thing, but he found it when none of us were here and touched it and...
Well, if you can't you touch it and make the fog go away?
No. You see, how it works is each of the stones, and she points to each of the stones, has an avatar in it. The wolfen of Mark, and she points to that one of the stones, and the soldier of Opan, and she points at the other stone that has no chains to it. She goes, we have already dealt with those 2. Don't ask me about the names. I'm just making them up as I go. In reality, we gave them names, but in reality, they are monsters. One in the shape of a man, one in the shape of a wolf, one in the shape of an orc, one in the shape of a fishman, and one in the shape of pure chaos. We gave them names, but these are the shapes that were created when these stones were touched.
Gammon walks up to the nearest stone. This one.
Is that the one that's
That has
unchanged?
no chains to it. Think of it like this. Going towards the center, it's this arm, biceps, and then the head. So currently the one with the neck, this bicep, this forearm, bicep are still on.
But don't they connect to the stones?
Mm-hmm.
He goes up to the stone that it's connected to, that a chain is connected to.
Alright.
And he says, which avatar is this?
She looks at it, and she goes, well, that was the stone of the wolfen, but we've already dealt with her.
He moves around to the next stone.
That one is we still have to deal with that one, the utter chaos.
Utter chaos? Is it a cow?
Think of it like...
I get it.
Boo!
Think of it like a massive tentacle blackness, inky horror.
It has
Oh.
udders.
I've seen it. It's not very nice, and it runs away. Part of the reason why we are having trouble catching it.
Tiggs says it runs away. You mean it's not?
These things do not seem to be tied to the fog. They are, but they are not bound by the
Tiggs
limitations
goes up
of
to
magic.
this rock.
She looks at it, and she goes, That one is of the fish man.
Tig says, "Oh, I like fish," and he touches the rock.
Nothing happens.
I assume we have to go to different places to get.
He says, "I was hoping that it would send us to the place we need to go."
She looks at the little plaque and she goes, "This is the directions for releasing the curse."
Okay.
And she goes, each one of these directions leads to one of the places.
So, let's write everything down. She takes out a book and opens it up to the back. Tell me the directions. I'll write them down.
She tells you the directions for each one. The horror, the orc, and the fishman are the last ones left. You can tackle them in any order you wish.
Tiggs goes, "Fish man, fish man, fish man." He goes, "We're cats. We love fish."
You see,
I'm more of a chicken person.
you see Kotop look down at the plaque and she goes, "It only says they have to be defeated, but that could mean many things. In combat, in word, why, the human, we simply talked to and listened to him and told him why his book sucked."
Gammon Gall says, "Did his book suck?"
It really did. It was all about a vampire and a werewolf going after some girl. It was totally unrealistic.
Wait a minute. He's hitting me. I know this book. He's like, oh.
No, Tiggs looks at her and says, "The movie sucked too."
What is a movie?
Oh, we're breaking the third wall entirely too much here.
Oh, that's part of the fun.
The wall is broken. We can't
Or the
fix
fourth
it.
wall. Is it the third wall or the fourth wall?
Fourth.
So,
I have a question.
she looks at you and her eyes blink.
The chained god. What? I guess I have two questions. Why is he chained?
She looks at you and she goes, "He's chained." I do not know why.
Oh,
Tig says because either he was very bad or the somebody who chained him was very bad.
true.
All I know is he is to be chained and never released.
Meaning he's
Another
a bad guy.
question I have is, what was his domains? You worship him, you should know his domains, correct?
You see her open her mouth, and you're pretty sure she said something, but it disappeared, like, immediately. It happened to everybody. Like, she opened her mouth, she did say something, but you can't remember.
Gammon Gall says, "I say we ask these very same questions to the fish."
You think the fish would answer?
He shrugs and says, "I suppose it's worth a try. He is one of the avatars."
Let's go murderlize it.
Let's try talking and then myrtleize it if talking doesn't work.
Don't worry, Kevin. I have one that is definitely a myrtleizer for you.
You always got to throw at least one in that's got to be myrtleized.
I mean, you attempted, but then it killed itself.
Yeah. Thanks to the one that I put it in there for.
The monkey wrench. The super unplanned monkey wrench.
I have one that is totally for myrtleizing here.
Is it the chaos one?
Maybe.
Well, no, let's go find out with the fish.
You go find out.
The fish
with
is
the
mermaid.
She directs you, and it's this square right here. Put him on the rock in the river. And
Oh,
put
he is
yourself-
actually a fish man.
Yes.
And he got murderlized by a cord.
The cord, it myrtleized him. Oh, the cord, it fell.
I like how I've just been picking it on the chocolate.
And that's what I brought it in for. Nobody at home was eating it.
I look like just devoured it. That's all that's left.
Chocolate stars are awesome, man. Fine.
You arrive in the clearing, much like all the others, it's 10 by 10. And
Just don't let it blow your sugar.
the fish man is sitting on the rock, and he appears to be looking over a book of some kind.
A gammon gull looks and says, "A question for you, friend."
You see him hold up his hands. He goes, "Wait."
Let him finish his chapter.
You see him flip the page. His eyes blink.
It
He is
blinks like
currently.
this.
He does look like a fish man. He has a spear next to him. He is currently looking at the book, and he honestly looks. He has a loincloth on. He looks kind of bestial, but you see that he has this really odd-looking printed book, and he goes, "Oh, if I was him, it would be great. A harem of my own." And you see him close the book, and he goes, "Now, what do you want?"
Is that the book I am told sucks?
He cocks his head, he goes, "No, it does not suck."
What
He
is
said-
the book?
Why? It is called, Kevin, name a harem anime.
Monster Girls? What is it called?
There's a lot.
There's a lot of them! It's search generic harem anime here.
Clanad. Clanad.
Clanad!
That's actually a good one. Really sad.
You see him looking sad. He goes, no. I brought this here. This is my own book. Why are you here? Why do you bother me? Am I reading?
We have some questions?
He goes, questions. You all have questions. If it's
Sorry.
not about my waifus, I do not care.
Your wife's?
It's a weeaboo fish. An anime loving fish.
I love it so much!
Okay, but here's my thing. I know, Tim, you feel a little out. Trust me, you're really going to like the fight, and you're going to like the orc. Bear with this
Now
one.
we know which
I-
one is the. He just gave it away.
Huh?
He said, now we know which one we fight."
The orc.
No. Kevin's going to like the abomination. You're going to like the orc. These two I made specifically for this and for the viewers at home. This is a weeaboo fishman. Defeat him.
What
Do I
is a-
have to,
what
like,
is a
out-weeb
weeaboo
him?
fishman?
A fishman that's a weeaboo.
What is a weeaboo?
It's a person that finds Japan absolutely perfect in every way.
Well,
shape,
then
and
all we
form.
gotta do is sing Godzilla.
Shindrago, where are you at?
You are.
We got him right there.
But, in all
Stomps all over
seriousness,
Japan all the time.
in all seriousness, you do have to find a way to deal with him.
Quickest ways to murder.
Do you have the rest of the books?
He looks at you, and you see him. You're pretty sure he does, like, it. You can't really describe it. It's kind of odd. You see him reach behind you, and he pulls out books, seemingly out of nowhere. There's definitely magic involved. And for those who are like, but this is the fifth realm. I thought this was grounded in high fantasy. Oh, honey, baby, we are using Hero Builder. We can do anything we want.
Include wreak havoc
Whoa.
with the fourth wall.
What fourth wall? There is no fourth wall.
We've been so
serious.
serious. This one, my next couple of episodes are going to be a little less serious. I have a lot of fun stuff in them. This is the beginning of it.
Don't worry, after his third one, we'll get dark again.
Oh yeah, and trust me, I believe I'm running the very last one of the season. That one's going to get really freaking dark. This, like, no seriousness. That one, this is our happy time. So enjoy it.
Okay, I am really glad we visited Butters. I have an idea.
Do it.
The
bell
butler
rings.
appears. He looks at the butler. He goes, "Oh, this guy." The butler looks at the fish man and sighs, and he goes, "What do you wish?" And he looks at you.
I know this is very odd, but I would like a series.
He goes, "Series."
A series better than... What was that book series that you were reading called, sir?
What was it called?
Clanad.
Clanad.
A book series better than Clanad.
The Gammon Gall says, I've always been interested in reading the Shinaras myself.
Something that has with the harem?
He goes,
It's story driven?
he looks at you, he goes, all art is subjective.
Very true.
What are you doing over there?
He's painting.
Painting.
Oh, it looked like he was painting his nails.
He's painting figurines while he's telling the story.
Oh, so we've got him bored.
No, I'm not bored. I am listening. I'm just painting because my head is hurting and I'm finding this is actually helping it. So I don't know any good animes or mangas, and I see where you're kind of going with this, but you see the butler go, art is subjective, and the fishman goes, he is right, art is very subjective, but of course only the stuff that comes from Japan is the best.
I don't know very much about Japan, though.
And you suddenly see the fishman's eyes go wide, and he will not now shut up. Now he's just talking, constant talking.
Shall I shut him up?
Can I have earplugs?
The butler looks at you, and he produces 2 earplugs.
Thank you. Should I use this? He's like, keep going.
He keeps going even though there's earplugs. You can't hear him now. Kevin, how do you deal with a weeaboo?
You walk away and never talk to him again.
That too.
Find him another weeaboo.
What do we
Stick them against each other.
I kind of figured you guys.
Better than your food.
Actually, I will say this: you're kind of on the right track. You're not wrong.
Do I have to out-weeaboo him when my character has no idea about Japan?
Do it.
Why do you think?
Roll and see if you get natural 20 and have knowledge of Japan.
I mean,
Out of the left corner.
Completely out.
okay, give it a roll. Let's see if you get a
I have
natural 20.
intellectors of Japan.
I'm gonna try a different die. I'm just gonna freeze and giggle. If I can get it. Nope. I shall try another dice. Getting
Almost.
close. Getting closer. Shall I try another dice?
He's gonna keep roll until he gets the 20.
It's like, give it!
You only got the one roll. What did you get, Jane?
Huh?
What did you get for knowledge of Japan?
Oh. I lost it.
I don't think she rolled. Kevin was rolling every dice he has.
I have 14. But I could use my wisdom, which gives me a 20.
It occurs to you maybe you should ask the butler for something that can tell you about Japan. The butler appears.
I have something that has...
Copy of Godzilla Raids Again.
Can I have some
Preferably on
information about
Blu-ray.
Japan?
He looks at you. He goes, information about Japan. I cannot give that to you. Too broad.
Oh. How about specifically...
Harems.
Well, I wouldn't say harems.
He kind of goes, there's many things about harems. But what do you want exactly?
Koi.
Huh?
Koi.
Koi.
Set up a Japanese koi pond.
I'm thinking, could you find something that would keep him, points to Fishman, I don't know, something he'd...
I honestly thought
impressed.
these two were bigger weeaboos, but apparently not. So I apologize for this.
I don't even know what one is. So.
I really am not a weeaboo.
Kevin's the weeaboo.
Kevin's more the weeaboo with the anime shirt.
Says the man with the anime shirt and the anime collection of big titty girls. We both know who is. We both know who is the weeaboo here, Kevin.
But I don't really have a weeaboo.
It's a true point, and I will give him that. He's actually a very nice man.
That you know of. You don't know
Must the weeaboos are not nice men?
Could you? How extensive is your powers? Exactly.
The butler goes, I can bring you anything within reason.
Within reason.
Yes.
As in what?
Bring him to
Basically, if it can fit on a tray, he can bring it.
Damn it.
I would like...
It's like, bring him to Japan.
I have this idea. I don't know if it'll work. I would like a one-shot ability bracelet that I put on, and I am able to be anime.
He looks at you. And for those who are reading SCPs, I'm very sorry about this, but I'm going to make a roll, and the roll will determine if this will happen or not.
Oh boy.
But it's temporary.
He goes, I cannot do that.
Well, you said something that can only fit on a tray.
True, but that's something that is really...
Sushi!
We didn't do that.
Wait, hold on. Honestly, Tim just brought up something I did not think about. Tim is the most correct out of you all.
Sushi?
The one who didn't even know what a weeaboo was.
What?
Tell him to bring sushi.
Okay.
You tell him to bring sushi. He brings sushi, and he gives it to you. And it is like rice. It looks really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Tiny bean toe poke.
You see the fish man look over, and he goes, what is that?
Tig says a relative.
It's a Japanese delicacy.
Whoa.
He goes, no, the Japanese would never eat fish. It's like their entire thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I will say this. Tim did bring up a good point, and I'm going to roll with
They
it.
are the ultimate fish eaters on the planet Earth.
He's a
Fish.
fish man.
Oh my gosh, we're making him not a weeaboo. Japan, the
Like Tig said,
weeaboo
a
are...
relative.
Would Japan be a coastal place?
Well, it's an island.
Well, islands, they have to have food, and there's not there.
And there's actually a few islands in the Fifth Realm. And
An
they're
island
main
right
imports.
next to the deepest place on the planet.
Islands are typically mostly fish.
He goes, no, they would never eat fish.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part where I say you need to now prove it to him. You have the delicacy.
Would you like to give it a try?
He goes, well, I would never eat my own. But
Fair point, but wouldn't
They're-
it be in one of your books?
he goes, no, they eat jelly donuts.
In fact, they are the only people who are skilled at preparing the deadly poison pufferfish. True
Well,
fact.
may I see your book? Pretty please?
You look at the book, and indeed, there are jelly-filled donuts everywhere where there would be sushi.
Jelly-filled donut.
It's like someone has cruelly left out the part to him that Japan is a coastal island city to spare his feelings.
No one told him about the hooks, the rods, the nets.
The other way to have defeated him is to ask the butler for a neckbeard.
Neckbeard, that's Amish, not Japanese.
No, a neckbeard has become a term for a person who is a weeaboo, who is also
But
sexist.
even more insane than a weeaboo.
Yeah.
No.
There's like Kevin, who is a weeaboo, and we love him so. But then there's the neckbeards, who are...
How did they become called
Hygiene-
neckbeards?
Because they tend to have, like, beard down here and not
But they
very
can't
well-
grow out any more than that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's the neckbeard's always been an Amish thing.
It's like, there's that, and then they're like, hygiene blind.
Oh god, they're hygiene blind. But regardless, do you ask him to? But we're going off with this because
neck beard fit on a tray.
Very carefully.
He would have brought you a dino cap from the Dragon Ball Z series that would have popped open and created. Regardless,
I wish we did the neck beard because I don't know what to do with the sushi. Convince him of.
But he looks through, and indeed, the books seem to have donuts and everything. I mean, like all they eat is donuts. And you point this out to him?
Yeah.
He goes, "No, they wouldn't do that.
What are donuts made out of?
Bread
And?
sugar."
Well, if you ate bread and sugar every single time in your existence, what would happen to you?
Well, I'd be full.
Well,
Diabetic.
diabetic.
He
Possibly malnourished, too.
He looks at it, he goes, "Maybe you are right."
They're the only place in the world that serves fish.
You
for
see him look a
baseball
little
games.
dejected. He's like, "Well, I liked Japan. It was an island nation and better than most places."
Well, you can still like Japan. Just
Don't go there.
I was going to say take the positive with negatives. There are no one state is perfect.
He goes, "Maybe you're right." And you see him just start fading away. He goes, "Oh, I'm coming!" No, he suddenly fades away and drifts off, and you hear him go, "I'm a weeaboo. A weeaboo."
This is a weird one.
Yeah, this is a really weird one.
Visions.
I learned something new. This is not going anywhere near the direction I thought this was going.
I was expecting like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the swamp scene where everybody splits up and we all have different visions of our past,
I wasn't
futures.
expecting to find weeaboos.
Yeah. And you got to learn a few things
I
of
heard
the.
what a weeaboo was. I
We all
heard
learned
my
something.
kids use the term, and
She
never knew
looks
what
at
it
you
was.
both, and she goes, "Well,
Daniel actually accused you of being one once.
I was.
He
Did
was.
I
you
really
used to-
was.
did
I
you
used to
be a
be.
big time weeaboo.
She was too, though.
She still is. If I'm getting the definition correctly.
Then, but you can see where I've definitely grown out of that. I now appreciate all cultures. French animation is my favorite though. Really whacked out.
Now
shit.
they did come up with the very best movie monsters of all time.
Oh yeah. But moving on, you see Kotop look at you all, and she goes, "Well, that's one way to deal with one of these people."
I have no idea how I was able to do that.
She shrugs and she goes, "Do you wish to deal with the orc or the unspeakable horror next?"
Both at the same time.
She goes, "I don't think that'd be a good idea."
I guess the orc? What do you guys think?
Tig says works for me.
She nods and she starts leading you to the orc, which is the tree spot over
This
there.
in here?
Yep. So move
I
everybody.
can't reach anybody.
Nobody can reach
Stop
nobody.
touching things.
I like touching things.
Kinky.
The only reason that you're lonely. Okay. You arrive in the clearing, and I just want a quick thing. I did say orc. What do you think is about to be in this clearing? Because I'm certainly certain it's not going to be what you think it is. You see an orc. Put him by the one back tree. Closer to the tree.
The other tree, I think.
The tree that's nearest your pencil, dear.
This one?
Yes.
Boink.
Come here, you.
You see an orc leaning on the tree. The tree itself looks odd. It looks like a tree, but the tree has like this little part in it with a little nozzle and a space underneath it, and bolted to the tree are cups. The orc itself is leaning on the tree with a water cup. He is dressed in very fine office attire, and he looks up at you and he sips his cup.
Is this the same orc from the last game that was a bureaucrat?
That's what it's looking like.
He looks at you and he goes, "You guys are here to lift this fog?"
Yes.
That will be a W-254.
I called it. How, a what?
He says, "You gotta fill some paperwork out."
The Gammon Gall says
And-
paperwork. And he sighs.
Do you want to fill it out?
He says, not really.
Is this like paperwork that is like 500 pages long, or paperwork that's more like 10?
Gammon Gall looks at Tiggs and says, hey, Tiggs, come here for a minute. Tiggs walks over to him. He says, put your fist up. Tiggs puts his fist up, and he says, pound it 3 times. Tiggs pounds it 3 times, and then Gammon Gall does too and goes like this. Rock, paper, scissors, I win. You're doing the paperwork.
You see him appear. You see Tiggs.
Tiggs is like, huh? What?
Just go up to him. Just go up to him.
Tiggs goes up to him.
He looks down at Tiggs and he goes, "So you're going to file all the paperwork?"
He says, what's paperwork?
You see him do this, and a stack of paperwork this big appears. He
Tiggs
goes,
looks
"I
at-
need this signed and double co-signed by every single resident, including the animals in this marsh within the fogged area."
Tiggs goes, huh?
And after you're done that, I need you to... And he starts rambling on and on.
Gammon
and
Gall
on
says
and on
he's
and
going
on.
to need a pen.
How does animals sign for something
Do it.
when they don't have any?
I know what that roll was for, Kevin.
What was it for?
He's gonna
Are you or are you not going to just attack him?
I figured he's going to blow fire on the paperwork, which is what I would have done if I had a fire breath attack.
Do it.
Burn the paperwork up
paper.
in his hands.
Just look
Yeah.
at it and go.
Just goes poof.
Combat starts!
Enough of that.
Just,
Jane, do you want to keep track of the combat this time?
Yeah, I could do that.
Woohoo!
I didn't get to have any fun with the bureaucracy.
Oh no. This is the exact same enemy that happened before, only a little bit more toned down.
Considering
this
we
level.
were level, like, what, 10 when we
I don't
first hit
remember.
him?
And the reason, and if anybody's wondering, like, but wait, if you're saying you've already had this enemy before, why are you bringing it in this particular game in the 5th realm? Well, because in all honesty, this is the only chance we're probably going to get to show you that you can make any kind of power, including a power based purely on the idea of bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
Consider
Just how ridiculous you can get, and
With
it still
Hero
works
Builder.
with Hero Builder.
Yep. And our coat of red on her hair.
Tiggs got 11. A Gammon Gall got 8.
Since I'm initiating, do I even need to do my initiative?
No, you initiated.
No, you go first. You automatically go first because
'Cause
you're
you
initiating
initiated.
combat.
Woohoo.
Tiggs? What was it?
Tiggs got 11. And Gammon Gall got 8.
And the orc got 10. He did not roll well, but I gave him some health, so we'll see what happens. Yikes.
There's a light.
Dude!
Uh-huh.
There's a light there.
Yeah, I see that.
I see that now!
How can you not see a light behind you? It's got lights and
Alright, so Ifrit, you're
Obviously.
first.
Obviously. What am I going to do? Why am I in the back? Oh boy.
Obviously, you charge to the front because
Let's...
at least there's no pawn here to step on this time.
There's just 2 cats.
Meow.
Whatever a Gammon Gall is again. I don't see. Let's...
Tangora.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use an action point to get me right up in that thing's that.
That orc's face?
Yes. And breathe some lava.
You're like, I ain't having this crap.
Yep. I need my handy dandy calculator.
By the way, is me painting bothering you guys? Okay.
I don't care.
I got the 29 against a reflex.
29, that is a hit.
Okay. And okay, that would be 19 points of damage
Alright, 19 points.
of molten lava.
Uh,
Saying bye bye to paper.
you see him get singed as he dodges the most of the attack, but he does look hurt.
That's my go.
You burnt. You singed his silk suit.
He didn't need it.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Oh, sorry. Tiggs.
Tiggs is next. Right.
The murder wagon has commenced.
Tiggs goes to here and throws one of his axes.
Alright.
So I must
15.
ask you a question.
15 versus armor class.
Did you just make a...
That is a
Must
miss.
dash.
And remember, it's just armor and hero builder.
Yeah, he didn't roll very well.
That is a miss.
Alright, who is next?
The orc.
The orc is next.
Who had a dragon breathe lava out his
What's
face?
everybody's will?
15.
That is a hit.
A 15's a hit.
No, you're 15. You're a 15, right?
Mine are
Then he
11
is
and
hit.
12.
11, 12, hit. What about you? LOLs. It hits everybody. For the next round, you are all, for lack of better words, the actual condition is held. No, is it held? Give me the book. I can't remember the condition.
The book! Magic of Aka.
What's the,
That's a little
what's the
too
mechanic?
high.
Hang on.
In my opinion, that's a little too high, considering I have the best will out of all of us.
He must have rolled well.
Alright, you all are immobilized. You cannot make any actions other than saving throws and awareness checks. Of course, if you have something that requires no movement, such as commands, you can use that action. And it also grants combat advantage. This entire clearing is now chest high in paperwork, and you'll have an insatiate need to fill it out. This is the power!
Mm-hmm.
Because Hero Builder...
Too much paperwork.
Yep. Too much paperwork. So, everybody's next turn, you guys are immobilized unless you have something that can do basically ranged. With your mouth.
Hey, me! It's like, hey, me!
Like, I'm useful!
I am useful.
I'm always.
I can breathe fire while I'm filling out forms.
Just death.
Of course, this is just an illusion. There is no paperwork. But, mechanically, you are immobilized for 1 round.
Well, I can't do anything except for maybe pretend to fill out paperwork because I'm next.
Alright?
Which means a gammon
Who's now?
is the last one.
Do you have any other...
He does actually, but I don't know if he is in range. He may not be in range of it. No, he's not in range of it. He has to be right next to him. It's not really a ranged. It's a breath weapon, but it's not really a ranged weapon.
Alright.
So he's doing paperwork. And he's enjoying it.
All right.
You enjoying
Filling out-
paperwork?
Seems.
I believe that's
Totally
top of the
satisfying.
round.
Is that top of the round?
Yeah, that's top of a round.
Oh, don't worry. He rolled a measly 5 that time.
We got a 16.
Tig's got 12, a Gammon Gog got 18.
And how long are we doing paperwork for?
Just this next round, unless you have something that can attack him from range.
So everybody else just had their...
The orc. What did he get? 3?
He got 5.
5. Alright, so
So
the
the only
first
one-
one is Tiggs.
Well, Tiggs went before the orc last round, so Tiggs is doing paperwork this round.
Okay.
And you got nothing that is ranged?
Nothing that he can use just with his voice. He'd have to throw,
All right.
and you can't do that while you're immobilized.
Alright, the next one is Ifrit.
Ifrit went before the orc did, so Ifrit's doing paperwork.
I have
But-
a breath weapon.
He has a breath weapon, so
And I'm
he
literally
can.
in front of him. Although I don't really need to be in front of him, because it's a blast 3. So... 25?
Versus
Reflex?
reflex. Yeah, that is a hit. Because it's 23 to hit his reflex.
Nice.
And... Hey, you want to know something funny?
What?
That's 23 points of damage.
He is looking hurt.
Boom.
Okay. A Gammon.
A Gammon went after the orc last time and did paperwork on that round, so he can actually act this round.
Yes.
So he is going to, he looks at the paperwork in front of him and says, "My, I have a pretty signature." Then shakes his head.
And all the paperwork disappears.
Paperwork disappears. He steps to here and uses Blood of Gaul. In which case he literally vomits a vile stream of blood.
Oh.
It's an inheritance from his lovely father.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely.
And it goes versus reflex.
All right.
And he got a 27.
That is it.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Anything of damage, right?
Yes.
Is our friend still online, Jane?
Yes.
Has commented anything?
Not since. Not since your accent.
Excellent.
33 points of damage.
Okay, he is really hurt now.
Accent of the croissants.
Probably the next attack's going to finish him.
Well, let's see, because I'm doing it. I'm just putting away all my little baby dice so I don't lose any. So I was looking for all of my d20s. I don't know why I was looking for all my d20s, but I was looking for them all. I don't know why.
For an attack that you might be creating in the near future that requires a shit ton of d20s.
Yeah, that's quite a power.
Quite an expensive power.
I actually wanted to do the math on that. Does a... It's 24 hits his armor class, right?
Yeah, because his armor class is 23.
Super. Then I'm going to use a trigger power that makes it 2 fates, which allows me to double my attack damage, which is 2d8s.
I'm going to come up with power at some point and just call it a shit ton of d20s.
And then here comes the shit.
Gear builder, you can do that.
I got it. And it'll just be a shit ton of d20s raining down from the heavens.
Nothing but D20s from heaven.
And that's literally what it'll be. A shit ton of d20s raining down and doing a shit ton of d20s.
As they fall down.
Plus 3 plus 15 damage.
15?
Yep. 15.
That much. Describe how you take him down.
Seriously, I took him down?
Yep. Describe how you take down the bureaucratic orc, which is something you can make with Hero Builder. Not just an enemy, but you can make him an actual hero.
I had to write down my my downs.
Describe how you take him down.
You know what? I'm gonna do something a little weird.
Alright.
I reach up, grab my crossbow, aim, and I fire, hitting his only pen.
You see him cry. He goes, "My only pen! No!" And he fades
Why does a
away.
bureaucrat only have one head?
What kind of bureaucrat has one pen? Apparently this orc.
I mean, he wasn't.
You see him go, "No!" And he fades away. He goes, "Now I have to watch The Office again."
Well, you could have taken out the printer behind you.
I coulda, but I felt like it was a little more funny to be aimed like exactly at this one pen.
So you take out the orc bureaucrat, and you just see Kotop come around the corner of the tree, and she goes, "What did you do to him?"
I just removed his pen.
It works.
I kind of like your adventuring. Seems a lot more fun than just being in the village.
Sometimes going out and adventuring is something you need to do before life.
You never know what you're going to find.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "I can definitely see that."
Weeaboo
now."
fish people and bureaucratic orcs.
Oh my. Weeaboo fish people and bureaucratic orcs. Oh my. She goes, "Well, I guess you guys are ready. I guess you guys have definitely proven you can probably take care of the unspeakable horror."
Unless it's truly unspeakable.
She goes, "It is quite disturbing, to say the least."
Well, then let's go.
Tig says, let's go speak of it.
As we murder it to death.
She takes you to that clearing right there.
Which clearing?
One where all your dice are piled up.
Yep. The one where-
God damn it! Where am I gonna put my dice? I have no place to roll me dice. Except for where all my other dice are.
And you come to this clearing, but there doesn't appear to be anything in the clearing.
Oh, hey, Mr. Fish Person came with us.
Secretively.
You go into the clearing. Make sure you're coming in the entrance.
Whoa.
You come in the clearing.
Go in first. Goodbye. What's so funny?
She just tossed him aside.
Rip, rip, rip.
Gammagall's dancing.
He was attached to my little fuzz string.
You arrive in the clearing, and
Again,
there doesn't appear to be anything in this clearing. Suddenly, does anybody speak?
Hello.
Tig says, I guess whoever was here abandoned it after I used my shit ton of D20s attack.
What?
You see, suddenly, from around the corner, this
What corner?
weird, well, one of the rocks. You see this horrible abomination of a creature suddenly come around the corner, and it's going. It has arms and legs. It just doesn't look right. And you see Kotop goes, "Oh, that isn't it."
Tig says, well, it doesn't look right.
She goes, "No, it's a lot bigger than that thing." Everyone at this point, hey, it was all fun and games. Now the serious part. Everyone make a perception roll.
Tig's got 20, not natural. Again, Mongol we won't speak about.
He's too busy looking at it going, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks it's a pawn.
Yes.
What did you get, Kevin?
19.
You don't notice that you're too busy focused on the ugly looking thing in front of you.
I got 27.
27. You and the cat.
Both cats notice.
Both cats notice, and at this point, Kotop is semi-entering. Oh, she doesn't notice. She's too busy going, but where is it then? And out of the darkness, you two are the first to notice it. A creature, huge in size, is lurking just outside the veil's cover. You suddenly see a mouth open and a tongue lash out and wrap around and pull the thing back in. There's a scream by Kotop.
Oh!
And this thing appears out of the fog.
Here comes Magog.
There you are.
The remnants of something else. It just ate the thing. Its tongue lolls out. Its hands, it's made of two hands. Describe this creature, Tim, because it's actually your creation. Just describe it in looks.
It looks exactly quite like what you see there. Actually, it's
Because
two,
that's 3D printed.
that
Right.
it's actually two
Sticky
colossal hands with no wrists, connected where the wrists would be, with a huge fanged mouth in the center and a long, slimy tongue. The thing is grayish colored. The top or the back portion of it is spiny and appears as though it's sculpted from some sort of rough granite. The bottom underbelly is a much lighter gray coloration and smooth, looking sort of like human flesh. The human flesh of a hand, with the fingers even having fingerprints upon them.
And you see this thing come out of the fog. Roll for initiative.
Tiggs and a Gammon Gull look at each other and say, "Are we sure we're high enough level for this?" Gammon Gull got a nat 20. Tiggs got 26.
Might as well roll a few die, just so that, I have them all.
We're going to do 5 in a row because this is the big
Okay.
fight.
So that was the first. Second, a Gammon Gull got 14. And Tiggs got 16.
Alright, hold on. What was the first?
A Gammon Gull 20, Tiggs 26. The second is a Gammon Gull 14, Tiggs 16. The third is a Gammon Gull 1, Tiggs 12. The fourth is a Gammon Gull 9 and Tiggs 19. And the last is a Gammon Gull 11 and Tiggs 14.
Alright, Kevin.
How many rolls are we doing against?
5.
I got a 20, an 18, a 21, a 22, and a 17. And now it is gone.
What is going?
My
Alright.
initiative rolls. I wrote it down.
What are yours?
Magog is 5, 11, 3, 9, 18. Is
Holy
that
murder.
5? And add Kotop onto it.
Holy murder pickle.
Did you just say holy murder pickle?
Yes, you did.
That's an interesting way of saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And add Kotop onto this because she is about to step into her own. You have inspired her.
We already have it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's Kotop.
We already have it now over here, you dum-dum.
Kotop is entering the fray.
Even though she's not actually an owl, she's actually a person dressed like an owl.
She's an owl.
Or is she?
Or is she?
She's secretly a dragon.
Mm.
All right, Kotop.
Dressed like a person, dressed like
Kotop?
a
Kotop is 19, 8, 15, 15, 12. Is that 5?
Yep.
All right. Who goes first?
Hold on, I need to write down my own. Oh, I took care of everybody else. And me.
You're not out of smacking range. I wouldn't do that.
Don't want me to go get a belt sander and throw it at your face?
What?
You missed the comment when Kevin first got here. I said my head hurts, and he said, "Hit your head against the belt sander. That'll fix it."
Yeah, definitely.
The question is the belt sander going to be on or off? We will never know.
When you if you start seeing pieces of head flying around, then you'll know.
True.
Okay, so the first one would be Tiggs.
Wiggy.
Right.
Please.
Tiggs is like, I feel like I've met this thing before, and I was really scared the first time.
And you're kind of hiding behind the cabin call right now.
Mm-hmm. He is. Tiggs. Let me see, I don't remember what Tiggs' flaws were.
I haven't thought of a flaw yet. For me, Dragon.
Tiggs will stay where he's at and throw 2 axes. And he got versus armor.
The question is, can you see through a game of golf?
Well, we'll find out. He got 20 and 21.
20 and 21.
His 2 attacks versus armor.
Armor. That is a hit.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Okay, so apparently he could see past
It's
the Gammon
20.
Gall.
It's 20 of his armor class.
Apparently he could see past the Gammon Gall. And first one does 11, the second one does 16.
The 11 one, let's see, 11 and 16. All right. He is still up.
Who is next?
Who's next?
The next one would be in between a Gammon and Ifrit.
What's your dex?
20.
You go first.
Alright, Star Wars.
That is copywritten.
It's my own take on it.
But it sounded exactly like Star Wars.
You're right. The mouse is in charge.
And don't you forget it!
Oh no! Oh no! You don't want to fight me on Mickey Mouse impressions. Ha ha! You think this is funny? Ha! You think you can just steal my copyrighted material? Ha ha! You sons of bitches!
God!
If you're 13 or above, you're totally allowed to be here. But if you're 12 or under, I don't want to see your tushies in here, you sons of goddamn motherfucking bitches! Not endorsed by the Walt Disney Corporation. They couldn't pay us enough.
25 against the reflexer.
25 against reflexes. That is a hit.
Ooh. That would be 23 damage.
23 damage.
23.
Hit the matakia. 3.
Judo chop him down.
He is still up. And he doesn't even look like he's hurting.
A gammon.
Put a gammon right up next to him.
Zaza!
As he uses an action point, charges, and uses Smash. Very inventive name for a power.
What's he gonna do? Tickle him to death?
Mm-hmm.
That is a power that has happened in the Hero Builder.
He swings his scythe with everything he's worth for 28 versus armor.
As a hit.
Damn it.
And he does 32 points of damage.
Okay, he's still up.
Next.
Kotop.
Kotop. Move Kotop to over there. And
To
as
over
you move her 6 spaces that way.
This way?
Yep.
Or that way?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. You see her fly over there. And when I say fly, you see her turn. You see her take her coat, go like this. Suddenly she's a great owl. You see her take flight and then beat onto the top of the on top of the rock. And you see her do this again and she turns back into herself. That's her power. She actually can turn into an actual owl.
Cool.
A very large owl. They weren't kidding.
Magog is next.
No. She still has an action.
Oh. I thought you said that was a power.
6 power points. 6 spaces. 6 power points. That's still an action.
The
Fair
owl
point.
transformation is just flavor.
Yeah,
Fair
that's
point.
literally all it is. It's movement. It's
Yep.
just unbiased movement.
Mechanically, she flies 6 spaces, which means that she ignores all terrain and obstacles, and that's the mechanics. The flavor is she turns into an owl when she does it. And that's how
Couldn't
Hero
she
Builder
already
works.
move 6 spaces while flying?
No,
Because as Kalina, I was able to fly 6 spaces, ignoring terrain.
She has 2 forms.
Oh, so she had to use the power to change,
Right.
which is flavor.
Well, technically, the way movement power works is she still has a full move action left because those 6 spaces would be added to a standard move action as extra movement that the 6 points count for. So she could technically move 12 spaces with that power on a standard move action.
I don't think that's how we wrote in the book, and I don't think we ever talked about how that worked. I thought it was just like you can move those spaces because mechanically 12 spaces for 6 power points is way too much.
Well,
But we're not going to get into the actual things because that's something that was we never really discussed it. And the few people we did discuss it were the people that really wanted the duelist, and that's how they did it. So that's how we're going to do it, and we're going to continue on at this point. She moves to there.
Is she a duelist? What is she?
She's a duelist.
Cool.
You see her reach in, and you see her bring out a feather. She tosses it. It bursts into flame. Shindraga.
Huh?
Not Shindraga. If,
Huh?
Different.
actually, hold on. Who was the one? Oh, hold on. He was fucking you. She would pick a Gammagol. She looks at a Gammagol. She flicks a feather. You suddenly feel like you understand this creature and where its is.
Vulnerable spot.
Where its vulnerable spots are. Your next attack gets a +5.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That is pretty cool.
Essentially, because she's a bird of prey, she notices these things and she's quickly passed on the knowledge to you.
I take it that is her go.
That is her go.
Magog is next.
Magog!
He's going to eat a Gammagol.
Or a dragon.
Gammagol's closer. He actually got up.
I'm We're press.
It
Wow.
was the last one who's damaged.
I'm the last one that damaged it.
Both of you are in front.
Mm.
What is your fortitude?
Ooh.
17.
Now, just to make sure
18.
I have not just killed your characters. What's your maximum health points for the both of you?
61.
75.
Okay.
That's big dice. Oh boy.
50 points of damage. As you see the tongue whip out and just slap the back of you. Knock back 2. So, move him back 2.
Ow.
Is the dragon being knocked onto Beiju?
Yep.
The dragon's knocked onto Beiju.
Uh,
I mean, technically, like, right in front of me.
6 points of damage is dealt to you.
Okay.
Owie.
I'm fine. Tis but a flesh wound. A gaping flesh wound.
But a flesh wound.
But a flesh wound.
Owie.
Did you get hurt by 6 damage?
I have 45 hit points. Any damage is an owie.
She's
That's what I have
fragile.
From 75. That's what I have left.
So I'm going to have to heal you guys.
I need healing.
Okay, Genji.
Who's more hurt?
What's your health?
11.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to get you then. Because I'm next. And I'm just gonna heal you. So, next one after me is top of the round, and it's Ifrit.
Me. I like that. I'm gonna use an action point to go. Now beat you with me.
Yeah.
With the tail, because this is what I did, Jane. You were right with the tail. It's like, you're coming with me, cat.
Got the cat stuck to one of his dorsal spines.
I got the tail using an action point. And then let us breathe fire or lava. I mean, once again. 26 against a reflex.
That's a hit.
Woohoo. 20 points of damage.
20 points of damage.
As I just spew.
It's still up.
24 healing.
Okay.
Is all I can do, Keith.
For now. That is my marker. Just kidding.
No.
I have my marker, Jack. Who's next?
Tiggs. Tiggs a woo.
Right.
Tiggs a woo. Tis your turn.
Tiggs.
Tig's done.
Right, move. Tiggs.
There.
Yeah, up. He's going to use an action point.
What's-a-ta?
Move to there. Using his move action. And then he uses his tumble attack and put him not really completely behind, but sort of off to the side.
Like right here?
Yeah, as he tumbles between Magog's, quote, legs and attacks with his axe. And it's
Back up the camera a little bit.
23 versus
Yeah, that's
armor.
fine though.
And lift the camera a little. Yeah, but you can't see all of Magog.
Do we need to see all of Magog?
It should be scarier.
And 23, it's 23 versus armor.
Hit. You probably notice this guy has 20 like across the board, but he is like just being able to soak damage. That's how I designed this guy.
And Tiggs does 18 points.
18 points.
The next one is a gammon.
Right, a Gammon Gall uses an action
You
point.
are now very close to defeating him.
A Gammon Gall uses an action point, and upon doing it, he pulls the scythe, holds the scythe straight back, and as he does so, the blade of the scythe ignites into flames, and then he hurls it. He's using his named item power, and the scythe twirls. He's got a +5 to his attack, and he didn't need it.
All right.
He got 34, counting the +5,
That is a hit.
and he did a total of 31 points.
Describe how you utterly destroy this faux copy of Magog.
He throws the scythe, which is ignited into flames, and when it strikes, the scythe slashes and burns into Magog's unholy flesh.
Nice. 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 He burns, twists, and screams, and just like the other two, eventually burns away. You hear Kotop go, "Oh my, I cannot believe it. You guys have done it."
We know what we're doing.
You suddenly see the little creature that was in his mouth pop back into existence.
Bloop.
What you need?
The little creature.
Oh, yes. Here you go. The little creature pops back into existence,
Yep.
screaming in what appears to be fear, and it runs off back into the fog. Go.
Then we didn't even need to sit up.
And as it runs back into the fog, you actually notice that you can see it travel very far. And then the marshlands appear in front of you. Rather flat, but ultimately you can see the Owlin village, you can see the man's hut, and off in the far corner down a ditch you can faintly see the top of the head of the statue. A river is going down through the place. You have lifted the curse of the
fog.
of the fog.
Oh, this is wonderful. Can't believe we did it. That
Tiggs
thing
says-
was horrible.
Tiggs looks around and says, "I can believe it, because you are the stalwart companions of Tiggs the Mighty."
Tiggs,
You talk
What?
too much.
What?
I need to measure your head because I'm pretty sure it just grew a little bit.
Tiggs feels it, says, "No, it feels the same size to me."
Kotop nods to you and she says, "I must go tell my mother about what you have done. Meet me back in the Owlin village when you can." And she turns into an owl and flies off.
I guess we should. What do you guys want to do? Maybe. Could we visit the statue?
Didn't touch it.
No, we are not touching it.
Tiggs
Ever.
Tiggs says we could go back to the Owlin village and bask in the glory of what we have done.
We could.
A Gammon Gall says, "We have done what we've done, but we really don't need the glory."
We could just leave humbly.
Tiggs, make a I'm going to call it a remembrance check
Okay.
and a memory check, and it uses your I guess wisdom would be a good one. What do you think?
Wrong character sheet. Tiggs. There's his wisdom. Yeah, probably wisdom. And he got a natural 20.
Natural 20? Oh, he definitely remembers there being some kind of really awesome reward in the village. Like he suddenly remembers it, and it's now consumed him.
He says, "Yeah, we definitely got to go back to the village." He says, "I mean, we are the conquering heroes."
You almost faintly hear the scarecrow distantly go, "Why?" Yeah.
Alright, I guess if you really, really want to, let's go.
Gammon Gall sighs as well and says, "I think he really, really wants to." Tig says, "I do really, really want to."
You start making your way back to the village. And as you make your way back to the village, you notice that a lot of owlins are out. And they're moving away from the village.
Tiggs
They've been trapped here for so long,
Tiggs
having to
is-
fly
Tiggs
out.
is
I'm
no-
not surprised.
Tiggs is in the
They've been
lead
able to
of
fly
his.
out.
Tiggs is in the lead of his companions. His tail is held high, and he is purring
They are
loudly.
moving towards the dwarf's house. They're moving towards the dwarf house, and are those pitchforks and torches?
Should we stop them? Are we, like, in the middle?
You guys are seeing the Owlin village and the guy's hut. You're seeing them crossing like this. So for you guys at home, they're looking here. And the guy's house is here, and they're moving.
Gammon Gall
way.
stops when he's directly in between the two of them, looks at the owlins and goes,
You see the Owlins, and at the head of it, you see what appears to be the mother. And she goes, "What do you want?"
He says, "We lifted your curse."
"And we will pay you in no time, but first we must deal with this guy."
He says, No. We didn't lift the curse so that you could go and commit violence and bring another curse down upon yourselves.
He trapped us here.
Says, he did not trap you here.
Not on purpose.
Well, he made business harder. Ever since he did it, we've lost much money.
He says, if he hadn't have touched the damn statue, one of you would have touched the statue. It was inevitable to happen.
We tell our people not to touch the statue. All we do is go and worship there. This man came onto our lands. He invaded our property. He invaded our god's sanctuary. He touched it and brought the curse of the chained god.
Tiggs looks and says, your god is a big piece of rock.
Excuse me. Tiggs, hold your tail.
Tiggs holds his tail.
Now, I understand the frustration you might have, but in all honesty, it was a complete and innocent mistake.
Gammon Gall says, any of you could have made it. Your
I
children
wouldn't know
could have
about
made
that,
it.
but
Your children could have made such a mistake.
No, we teach them well.
for an outsider, it is quite the mistake. Any of us could have done it.
What do you think we should do? Just post guards there? The chained god would not be pleased with lots of gods. He likes to be alone.
Your god is a big piece of rock. It's not going to care.
Will you, Tiggs? What did I tell you?
He says, I am holding my tail.
Alright, hold it in your mouth, please.
Why do I want to hold it in my mouth?
Pretty please?
Then I couldn't speak.
Exactly.
He says, you don't think I should speak? But it is a big piece of rock. He jumps up and down and
It's a
says,
statue.
a great big chunk of ugly great rock
It's-
that has chains all over it.
It's a statue, and
You see
very
Kotop
important.
looking at Tiggs.
He
their
goes,
eyes
yes,
narrowing.
it's a statue. And what is a statue? It's a big piece of rock. That's what a statue is.
You see Kotop looks
There
at...
are no gods in the fifth here in this world. There are only gods in the other outer realms. Everyone knows that.
You see Kotop suddenly look at the mom, and whisper something to her, and the mom nods, and she goes, "All right, we will not attack the dwarf. Maybe he did not deserve it, But at least let us draw and quarter the cat. He's insulting our god, and we cannot have that.
Tig says, he says, leave the dwarf alone, but if you want to draw and quarter the cat, go ahead. I don't care. Hey, wait a minute. What cat?
You, you idiot. May I suggest something?
She goes, any good horses nearby? By the way, does everybody know what draw and quartering is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody knows this day.
Tig stands up, still firmly clutching his tail in his hands, and says, yeah, well, you better find some damn big horses, because you little skinny birdies ain't got enough muscle to draw and quarter this cat if you used all of you.
Tig, you were digging a hole quite easily.
He says, and I can climb out of it too, thank you very
You
much.
suddenly get a vision.
Oh.
You fade out for just a moment.
I think Tig needs a new flare. I don't like the flares. Like I need to come up with a flare where he talks too much.
A flaw.
Yeah, flaw. I mean, where he talks too much.
We'll name it after one of the biggest loudmouths ever. Deadpoolin.
Deadpoolin.
The merc with a mouth. You get a vision.
Alright.
You suddenly space out for a second. The vision is of what appears to be a pawn, not an actual pawn, like a chess piece pawn, and a queen on a chessboard. One is red, one is purple. Opposing them...
Which one's red? Which one's purple?
The pawn is red, the queen is purple. But the queen's head is a violent... But the queen itself, they look like an actual, like chess pieces. But the queen's eyes are auburn, yellow auburn.
I thought he was about to say they're crossed.
Just
For some reason, that's what I was expecting.
There's other chess pieces on the board as well, you notice. Each one representing some form of person you may have met. Across from this chessboard is other pieces, ones you do not recognize and do not know. But as time progresses, we will indicate these chess pieces. I did say this one was called Visions, and this is the big one. In between both is a tiny little piece. A rook. It awfully looks like you. And over it all, you see the chained god looking down at you. That giant rock of a statue. Chained up, looking down, his eyes pleading. And that vision ends. As the vision ends, you notice all the Owlins are looking at you. They are now whispering.
Sorry, I spaced out there. Let me just,
You have a connection to...
She's scribbling.
You have a connection to the 6th realm.
Pardon?
The dwarf has it as well, but not as good. Tell us, what did you see?
I don't really like saying what I have, especially if it's,
It's kind of interesting that they immediately knew what just happened to you.
Yeah. She sighs and then tells the story of what she saw.
They nod, and they go, interesting. I would keep that in mind for times to come, little one.
I always write down my visions.
She looks at Kotop, then looks at you. She goes, It seems in due time You will see many things, little one.
I have seen
When
so
the
much
time
already.
comes, she holds up her finger. She goes, when the time comes that you need answers for your condition, and my guess is it's going to be in a few years' time, come back to us, and we will explain. But not now. Not now. Kotop is not old enough. And I have a feeling she may be a part of that vision. You do, part of the vision you did describe, one of the pieces on the side with the queen and the pawn was an owlin. And it did seem to really represent what Kotop was.
Oh.
Come here back in a few years' time, and we will explain more. But for now, be careful on your journey, little one.
Okay.
And take the cat, and take the nasty, loudmouth cat with you. We do not want to see him.
I promise I will attempt to keep him away.
You should
Tiggs
do
is
better
making
than
the-
that.
Tiggs is making the pissed off kitty sound.
Tiggs, please.
Do you want to be drawn and quartered? Because we could do that.
Pretty please. Calm down.
Tiggs says, I'm very calm.
You are growling.
He says, but I'm still calm.
That is not calm. That is the opposite of calm. Calm means quiet and relaxed. Growling means loud and frustrated.
Tiggs says, but I really want them to try and draw.
Do you know what that means?
He says, of course I know what it means, and I know they can't do it.
I'm pretty sure they could.
Tiggs says, I'm pretty sure they couldn't.
I'm pretty sure we could, little one. And she smiles. She goes, go now. Where were you heading?
The White Mountains?
The Great White Mountain.
The Great White Mountain.
She points towards the north, and she goes, it is further north. You'll notice it when you see it. Be careful, little one.
I have been.
She looks
Trying
at
to
Gammon
be-
Gall. She goes, there are enemies you do not understand yet. And I do not think your father is one of them.
He says, I believe my father is one of them. Unfortunately, I wish it were not so. But he will not see reason where this silly war of his is concerned.
She goes, that is where you are involved. Yes, I do know most about you all, but that is because of what I am and what I know. Your time will come soon. You will find a way to convince. You will find a way to understand. She looks at Tiggs and she goes, and maybe one day you will die and we will be rid of you forever.
No!
She goes,
Tiggs starts growling. Gammon Gall picks Tiggs up and starts petting him. He goes, all right, calm down now. You have a talking problem.
I think one of your friends is in danger in the near future, though. When you see them again, be careful with them.
I have plenty of friends. Which one should I be worried about?
My guess is either the purple or the red one. I would just be careful with them.
Okay.
She nods and she goes, be off now, and we will see each other again. You guys leave?
Yes.
That's a question, by the way.
I said goodbye to Kotop.
Kotop nods and she goes, I hope we see each other again someday.
If the future is what I hope it won't be, that's not the words that I'm looking for. If my visions become true, I'm certain we will. I just hope they are in, we get to see each other, in a more pleasant situation, too.
She nods, and she goes, I hope so too. I am eager to learn what the future has for us. Maybe these visions, roll credits, are not things of bad things to come, but of things to happen.
That's kind of what future vision.
Well,
are.
not bad things to come, but of future things to look forward to.
Well, if I get to see you again, then it's something to look forward to.
She smiles and she goes, I look forward to seeing you again too. You guys make your way out, and as darkness approaches, you guys are free to roleplay. And Gammon Gall, you find that as you are looking through your pack that has your gear for camping and things, you find a cloak. A cloak just like the Owlins.
Is it his size?
It's his size.
He looks at it and says, this was not in my... I never packed this. He says, I never packed this. He holds it up.
Oh, that looks so soft.
Kitty.
Is it Bugs?
No, I don't know who it is.
It's my girl. Help me pick up my girl. Get my girl. I want my girl.
Mine! Tim's like, aw. Hi, baby. My cat has joined us! Tim's sad. I'm sorry.
Oh, I want a kitty.
She'll run away. She doesn't like water.
So, you find a cloak in your pack.
He says, I believe I've been given a gift.
I did not know they gave it to you.
You
He
do
says,
also
"Nor did
find... You also do find a note. Use it well. Yes, I totally stole that. Screw you guys. I can do what I want.
Depends
He's-
on what you stole it from.
He's stolen a lot in this episode. I thought we were going to get a cutscene on what was happening with their two comrades.
That's going to be at the end.
This is roleplay time.
We'll play.
So I guess because it's getting dark, do we want to set up camp?
Well, you are setting up camp, and this is how he finds it.
While setting up camp.
That is so lucky. I'm certain it's super duper soft.
He says, it does feel soft. He tosses it to you and says, feel it for yourself,
It
little one.
absolutely encompasses her.
Yes.
He says it is quite soft, is it not?
I am stuck in a blanket. Help.
Quite warm as well.
I'm stuck.
It is quite
There's
warm.
teeny tiny little paw prints.
It's
He
soft and everything, but I'm stuck.
He rescues you by pulling it back up and putting it around his shoulders.
As you put it around your
his
shoulders.
matches with his white leopard armor that he's wearing.
As you put it all over your shoulders, you suddenly feel not just a warmth. You're accustomed to it because Tangora are cold-blooded, and most of your clothing has runes and stuff to keep you warm in cold areas. But this one seems to have the warmth of body heat. Not just that, but it feels like you're in amongst a group and a family, and the only thing keeping you warm is each other. That is the kind of warmth you feel. Something you have never felt before.
Oh.
He is alien to Tangora. But he likes it. He says there is something very nice about this. I can't explain it. I've never felt it before. It is
When
not
it was over you didn't feel it.
It is not a Tangora concept.
It just felt normal to you.
He says, a togetherness, a groupness.
Tangora don't have that kind of feeling.
He says, not in this way, no. Tangora are... We tend to be brusque with one another. We are not the most social of beings.
My girl, she leaves me.
You pick her up, she ain't gonna last long.
let me pet her.
Yeah. She's fine with pets. I don't know about picking up.
So,
She runs away.
it is a
Again,
very
man.
odd feeling indeed that you feel.
Gilman, would you mind if I sit in your lap?
He says, not at all.
You sit in the lap, warm.
Just nuzzles in.
Does she feel it when she's in his lap?
Yes.
This is nice. That's a nice cloak.
Tiggs is sharpening his axe.
A gammon gall.
Tiggs is not happy.
A gammon gall falls asleep while he's in the cloak. He just sort of drifts off into a contented sleep.
Ifrit, you look off into the sun, well, as the sun is setting, because it is starting to get nighttime. And as the last dawn of rays hit your eyes, you suddenly have a thought. A very odd, strange, alien thought. Soon, very soon, you're going to be in the homeland of the dragons. Gornux's territory. The Great Library, in fact, is one of the destinations you've pondered for many a year, maybe visiting. It is supposedly even greater than Nith's Grand Library. But a strange thought occurs to you that you don't understand what exactly you are about to discover on your travels. But one thing is for certain. You have finally found a family. A very dysfunctional family, thank you, Tiggs. But it appears to be a family nonetheless. Something you've never had before back in Nith. Certainly you had friends, but you were always raised to be a soldier. Even from birth. This is the first time you've really felt family.
Ooh.
Okay.
Kevin's like,
Go with the wishy-washy moment!
Okay.
Because I know you would just sit there and go next thing to kill, so I'm trying to give you some character development, Kevin.
Character development time.
Yay!
Character development.
He's going to be drugged,
Yay!
kicking and screaming
Through
into-
character development.
At
Oh, I
least
see
I
why
had
she's in
magic
here.
powers.
She's in here because of that.
Huh?
It's warm.
The warmth.
Oh, is she at the heater?
Yep,
Oh,
right next to it.
they must have just went up to bed and turned off the heater, and she's like, I'm still cold.
She's seeking out a new source of heat.
I'm cold.
You all find bed, go to sleep. And now we go to our cutscene. We see Raz sitting on a table drinking. It's nighttime. It's a tavern. You see Shepard just kind of moseying around, grabbing some pints, bringing it over to Raz. And it's a very busy looking tavern. And Raz is not looking too well, and Shepard looks at Raz and she goes, "What seems to be troubling you?" She goes, "It's just that for the first time I really feel like I should be doing more than what I am." She nods and she goes, I can understand that. When I was with the Coven of Nith, nobody ever paid attention to me. I was just one of the cogs, given at birth to learn the ways. You see Raz sigh and she goes, "Never really had a family. Was a farmer, was with my family at a farm, but I was just one of many working the farm. I wonder what life holds for us." Shepard just shrugs and she just goes, "Whatever it is,
Ask the kitty kid.
wherever it is," and we fade away all the way to one more scene far, far to the west. A king sits on a throne made of stone, and he is of stone. A mattock across his lap, and his eyes look down on his son, his long great 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 grandson, and the grandson does not know what the future holds. But he is afraid for his people. Afraid that it's going to end. And that was Visions. Many seeds were laid in this one for episodes to come. Seasons to come.
Things to
Come. And I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, there was a little bit of funny and shenanigans, but there were visions. There were things and seeds. And we hope you can speculate about what those will entail. In any case, we are now drawing closer to BFG Con, and we hope to see you there in Frederick.
Yes.
So, thank you very much for watching. We love your faces. If you want to get Hero Builder and do some really cool stuff like Bureaucracy Campaign, yes, you can do houses and home wives. Or what is it called?
What?
Houses and like the knockoff versions of everybody makes fun of.
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I'm sorry.
Houses and homeowners. It's a joke off of they're not going through a dungeon. It's basically dragons playing humans.
Oh, I remember that.
You can do a campaign with that idea. So, thank you very much for watching. We love your faces. We look forward to the next episode, Romulus, where you guys will arrive in the great city of the White Mountain and go to the great library of Gornux, where there seems to be a bit of a problem happening.
Of course there is.
Of course.
Unless you throw a monkey wrench.
We're the only fixer-uppers here.
So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.